Okay, let's look at taking our data that we have here and copying it, moving it, rearranging it, that type of thing. And there's a number of tools that we have that do such. So let's have at it here. So let's first look at rearranging some columns. Let's just say, for whatever reason, we want to take this column here, which is the 2023 column, and I want to put it in between 24 and 25. All right. Now, one of the ways of doing that would be to select the column, just like that, do a right click on it, and hit cut. All right. Then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, now where do we want to put this? Well, we want to put between F and G. So that means we'll go to G here, right? Now watch this. We'll do a right click on it. And there, instead of doing just a regular paste, because if we do a regular paste, we're going to wipe out what's on this column here. But instead, if we go and we click on to insert cut cells, there we go. See, so now we moved it from being over here to over here. So I'll try that again. So let's say it was like this, and we want to now put it back to where it was. And I don't want to hit undo. So you got that row select, or that column selected. Right click, cut. Go over to here. Right click, insert cut cells. There we go. Okay, so let's try now a different way. And if, the way we just did it, that's pretty easy. I mean, you say to yourself, there can't be any easier way, is there? There might be. You might think this is. Let's say I want to move 2021 in between these two here, okay? I'll click onto the row or the column here, right? I'll point to one of the sides, either on this side or this side. Doesn't matter which one. I'll just pick this side here. And if you hold down the mouse and you drag it like this, what's going to end up happening is it's going to end up putting, if I, like right now, were to let go, it's going to wipe out what's on 2025. In other words, it's going to wipe out 2025, all right? But now watch this. If you hold down the Shift key, okay, you'll see that selection kind of turn into a just an I-beam almost, right? And what you do then is you can then make sure you got it positioned properly and say, okay, well, I wanted to put it between 24 and 25, which that I-beam looks like it's there. And then what you do is you let go of the mouse, then let go of the control key, or the Shift key, I'm sorry, and it does that. So let's try this again. So let's say that I want to put 2021 back to where it should be, right? So I click on the column, point to one of the sides, hold down my mouse, and if you want to right away, after you held down the mouse, if you then hold down the Shift key, as you drag it, you'll see that I-beam kind of follow you, and then when you get to the right position, let go of the mouse, then let go of the Shift key, and there you are. You can do the same thing with your rows here, okay? So let's say for whatever reason I want to bring SIN up a few, right? So I got that selected, point to the top of it or the bottom of it, get that crosshair, hold down the mouse, start dragging, but at the same time hold down the Shift key, and that'll turn into the beam. And then you can say, well, I want to put between Phoenix and JFK, so I'm there, I let go of the mouse, let go of the control or the Shift key, and there we go. Let's say for whatever reason, and this would not be a good reason in this particular data, but let's just say that you have some data here in 2021 and you want to copy this, let's say to the end of this over here, all right? And let's just say it's because this is going to end up being 2026, and it just so happens to be that most of the data that's in here is actually the same data that we're going to have in 2026. Okay, like I said, this is not a good example here, but let's just say that's what you're trying to do here, right? So what we'll do is we'll click onto the column there, right? And we'll go to the side here. We'll drag it over to where we think we want it to be. Now what I'll do is I'll hold down the Shift key. That's going to turn into the I-beam, right? Now I'm going to get the I-beam in that position. Now if I were to let go of the mouse right now, then it's going to move 2021 to this position between G and H. But if while I'm holding down that Shift key still, if I then hold down the Control key, you're going to notice that that little, my mouse pointer gets a plus next to it, and that's indicating that you're now going to be making a copy. In other words, you're going to be placing a copy of column C in between G and H, right? So if I got that indicator on there now, I'll let go of my mouse, let go of my 2 keys, and now I've got it right in there. Now, what happens at that point, especially if you do something like that, because you're on the outer edge of the range that this was normally adding up, you'll notice how we get these little green wedges popping up, and it's the computer's way of telling you that it thinks there might be a problem. Well, if I click onto one of these, click onto the little yield sign there, the smart tag, it's going to say that the formula omits adjacent cells or nearby cells. Well, what does that mean? Well, look at this. If I click onto the cell, it tells me it's adding up from B2, from here, to G2. So it's leaving this out because I placed it outside of the original range, see? So that's not included. So what happens? Well, I can either put the formula in, redo the formula, or look at this, if I click onto that, it says, would you like to update the formula to include the cells? And I say, sure. So I click onto there, it updates it. And then all I have to do is go ahead and take this, copy it down to there, and now everything's been updated. So that's pretty cool. So the same thing goes for the row. If for some reason there's a particular row here that I want to copy to another position, then I'll click onto the row, point to the up, top, or bottom of it, get the crosshair, hold it down, start dragging, and now go ahead and hold down the Shift key and the Control key. You'll see that little plus showing up next to the pointer there. You see that? And now I'm going to put it between LA and, say, Dallas. Let go of the mouse first, and then let go of the 2 keys, and that's it. Now, I don't have to worry about the formula being off because I had put that duplicate within the range. So this just automatically updates. You can see here that now it says it's adding up B1. Oh, that's not good. B1 through B22. So that looks good. It's doing its job. But now that I look at it, for some reason, when I originally put the formulas in here, they were adding up the 2020 in there as well, because that's a number and so forth. So I can fix this. Now the computer doesn't know any better. It didn't know to give you an error message because it said, well, I don't know. I mean, that number and that number, what's the difference? I mean, it's a number, right? So we'll fix it. All right. Now, what would be the easiest way to fix it? I think just going to the cell, going back to our auto sum here, clicking onto that. There it is. Now you see what it's doing is it's trying to add up column or B1 here. So what I'm going to do very easily, just select from here and then down to there. See, there I go. Hit the enter key, and now I can take that formula and I can then copy that all the way over to here. And now it updates. And I can maybe make that column a little bit wider. Now again, this comes up and says, it's giving me a little smart tag. So I click onto that and it says your formula omits adjacent cells. Well, it's trying to tell me that we're leaving out row 1. And well, that's what we want to do. So just ignore the error. So by selecting all of these, all right, hit ignore error, then it gets rid of that error on all of them. And there we go. So now that works. So hopefully this will come in handy for you when you're kind of rearranging your worksheet that you put together. Keeps you from having to retype information and so forth, and keeps you out of trouble. And you can see when you do rearrange certain data, sometimes you might put it outside of the range that's being calculated, and now you know how to fix that as well. So hopefully this works out for you guys, and I appreciate you watching the video. Take care.